Welcome back here to Tampa. PPA Tour continues. Simone Jargim's Florida Grand Slam on the campus of HCC Tennis Center. It is a warm day, certainly here just across the street. The home of Super Bowl 55, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champions. I'll say that a few times today. And we get ready now for women's doubles. Simone Jardim and Lucia Kovalova, the consensus all-around #1 women's team in this great sport of pickleball. Scott, what makes them so great?
Well, just look at them warming up. They have huge smiles on their face, Drew. They're having the time of their life. They're probably making as much or more money than they've ever made in any career that they've done so far. And how much better does it get than competing at the elite level in professional pickleball and winning money to do it week in and week out? It makes training more fun. It makes competing more fun. And when you watch Simone Jardim and Lucy Kovalova compete next to each other, the first thing I recognize is the amount of fun that they have together. Even in the most intense points, you're going to see smiles on their faces between the points, and they're going to talk and communicate and have a great time on the court. And I think the fans really feel that as well.
And they'll be facing off with Parenteau and Callie Smith, a very formidable combination. As you get a look at our crowd here settling in here at center court. We saw Parenteau last week. Tremendous job she did in Phoenix. Very defensive player, covers a lot of ground. Very tough to score points against, very disciplined as well.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, how lucky are we that back-to-back weeks we get to watch these women compete on championship court here at the PPA Tour stops. We're in Tampa, Florida with some beautiful weather. Crowd is excited. I personally love this matchup. Last week we had extreme winds during the match, which caused both sides to have issues and trouble at times. But today, wind not a factor. They're going to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe. I absolutely expect to see a war of attrition between both these teams. Callie Smith and Parenteau going to be receiving first. Looks like Lucy Kovalova going to be serving to Callie in just a minute here.
And if you're watching us for the first time, you just discovered us, welcome. We're glad you're here. As this sport continues to be the fastest growing right now around the world. And a great start. Simone Jardim doing what she does best, painting that back line. Up against the back wall, surging forward like it's nobody's business. Can't get that point, but what a great effort.
She looked like Deckle Barr right there trying to cover for Adam Stone in that last game. She is just all over the court right now and all over that ball. Wow, what a point we just saw from Callie Smith, Parenteau, Lucy Kovalova, and Simone Jardim. Callie Smith slipping and somehow recovered that on that ball.
Oh, it drops right in front of Callie Smith. Sometimes that's just the lucky bounces you get in this sport as well.
2-0-1.
This is a very friendly net here on championship court. A lot of net courts that are staying inside the lines. I mean, Callie Smith with a little eye roll, but a big smile on her face at the same time. I mean, how many can you possibly get if you're Simone Jardim? What a firefight we just saw between Lucy Kovalova and Catherine Parenteau, as Catherine able to get that point.
Yeah, both players tremendous tennis players, converting those games over to this sport of pickleball. And there's Kovalova, who was a tennis player since she was 7 years old, just started playing pickleball in the fall of 2015, and right now she is among the best in the world. The great ones, they catch on quickly, don't they?
They absolutely do, and they rise to the top of every sport. Drew, somebody new watching this might say, oh, it's just 4 people hitting a wiffle ball over a net. And that is true in every sense of the word, but the nuances that we see at the pro level are so amazing to watch.
Up against the net that time. 40 different countries this broadcast is going to here today. People watching all over the world, including the great Dave Weinbach, who just said hello. Scott, we say hello to him. We will see him in a couple weeks in St. George, Utah. He is one of the greats, and I had an absolute blast with him last week.
Yeah, Dave Weinbach's a living legend in our sport, and he is a bundle of energy as well.
Kovalova tied up against her that time, and that is another point. Catherine Parenteau getting it done.
Yeah, she was Lucy Kovalova a little indecisive on whether she should let that ball go out or not, ultimately hitting that ball.
Jardim and Kovalova off to the fast start. Here in doubles play, there are 2 different chances to score points. It's like a double side out in the old school sport of volleyball.
Drew, as you remember and recall last week, we witnessed Smith and Parenteau go up 7-0 in game 1. Then a huge 7-0 run from Jardim and Kovalova, and today it's the exact opposite. Now we're seeing a 6-0 run coming up on that 7-point mark. Let's see if we can see history being made twice in front of us here on Championship Court.
And a timeout on the court. Smith and Parenteau do not want this to get out of hand. It could escalate quickly when you're taking on a team like Jardim and Kovalova. We'll step aside. Hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health.
It's pickleball cocktail. It's pickleball cocktail. It's pickleball cocktail. I don't cream. When I step on the court, this is what I do. Okay. Everybody cramping, cause they ain't got that new. I got this cocktail in my glass, and I ain't afraid to drink it. Drink it, drink it, drink it. I pickle and I love it. It's pickleball cocktail. It's pickleball cocktail. It's pickleball cocktail. I don't cramp.
Tampa, Florida. So many spectators here in the Bay Area taking in this great game of pickleball as the women's doubles continues to entertain. Jardim and Kovalova over Smith and Parenteau. Of course, Simone Jardim, this tournament is named after her, as Simone now will serve. Second serve coming up. And that's nicely done from Parenteau. She plays, hovers above that kitchen to perfection. I mentioned the spectators here in Tampa. So many people coming and watching this from around the Tampa Bay area. Excited this great event is here, and that the PPA has recognized the Bay Area. Of course, just hosting the Super Bowl. I got somebody here with me, Derek Stewart, who's very involved here in local pickleball. Derek, great to have you with us here in the booth, and what you have done for this game in this area has been great, and it's just awesome to have these great teams here competing, isn't it?
We've had such a great series of sports going on here in the Bay Area, as you well know and have mentioned, and then to have an event like this and a sport that's growing here like crazy is quite unbelievable. What a great venue and great support by the HCC community, the Tampa community, everybody here is just enjoying the heck out of this event. I mean, everybody's excited, and we got some great play all day today.
Absolutely, and hopefully more big pickleball events coming here to the Bay Area in the future. And everybody has a story how they got involved in this great game. I'd love to hear you share yours here.
Well, I didn't look at all like these ladies when I first started playing, that is for sure. The level of development that they go through and commitment they have to this sport is really, really off the chart. My story is playing beach volleyball here in the Bay Area with a bunch of friends a couple times a week, and I had a buddy that asked me to try out this new sport, pickleball. And we go in one morning and are playing with some people that are much older than we are, and just getting it handed to us. Let's just put it a good way like that, because the sport looks really, really simple, but it is very difficult. And the level that we're watching right now is, again, just off the chart and amazing to watch.
Jardim and Kovalova in the far court, and right now Somine, just like clockwork. Somine brought the entire family here to Tampa. Her son Landon has been entertaining us here in the booth since the early setup this morning. And Kovalova hits it into the net. That's a point. So that's the first point for Smith and Parenteau here in this game one. Just a little bit long that time. Your game and the way you have advanced it over the years. I mean, obviously in pickleball, you start and you come out like a head of steam, and then you realize you have to get better in so many different areas. Derek, what advice would you give people here, especially in Tampa, that are trying to get involved?
Well, watch how these ladies set themselves up coming into the kitchen where the game's being played right up there. They give themselves enough time. They move together up in. And they defend and get into that dinking game. But they complement it so well with their power. Their power is just off the chart. They can go from a soft to a hard attack and be accurate with what they're doing. And that takes lots of years and lots of practice. And you just got to put in the time of play and practice to get better at it.
Callie Smith right now starting to come alive. Kovalova just too much.
That's incredible by Lucy Kovalova. She just dug down in those trenches right there and attacked that ball below the net. One thing to note too, guys, is that all four of these women on the court right now played heavy Division I tennis. They are all beast tennis players in their own right, and translated it over into pickleball.
Yeah, tennis obviously a huge game that carries over. Table tennis as well. Badminton is another, and even volleyball, Dirk, the lateral movement in that sport, critical here in pickleball.
Yeah, Tampa used to be a big racquetball area. Matter of fact, here at HCC, where we're playing right now, used to be some of the best racquetball around in the area, and a lot of racquetball players are getting into this sport now, and a lot of the skills translate, and some of them are new.
Another point for Simone. It's 10-1 here in game number one. This duo of Kovalova and Jardim was just unstoppable last week in Phoenix. That time Smith scores with that forehand.
Sometimes that net court just makes you feel and look awkward, and that kind of happened there to Simone. It kind of threw her rhythm off a little.
Yeah, you get loaded up to attack that ball, and it's not where you expect it to be.
Look how low these ladies get when they're hitting their dinks, especially Simone.
Oh, wow.
Guys, I just got chill bumps. And if you play this level, it's amazing to watch Simone and Lucy do their work like that. That is a symphony in an orchestra right there. They are so fluid moving together.
And they're facing some good shots. It's not like they're taking shots out of the air that are just cupcakes. Those shots are well placed, and they're doing something with them. It's impressive to watch.
Just wide from Parenteau, so that will do it for game number 1. Parenteau and Smith not really able to get their legs under them. And Jardim and Kovalova.
I actually don't. That was not game yet. That actually was a little confusion. That was a side out. Somine even came into the net and was like, sorry, guys, I thought that was game over.
She had us all fooled there, Scott.
Yeah, they had a good laugh about it, but now it's game on.
For a moment, and Callie Smith now working the kitchen.
You know what? That's the kind of trust that everyone puts into Simone Jardim.
What
she
says
game's over, and game is over.
Wow.
But no, now we're going to see if Catherine Parenteau and Callie Smith can actually make a run here. They need one more stop to get back on track. That's just too good right there.
So 11-1 wraps it up here in game number 1. Simone Jardim in her early 40s, no signs of slowing down. At the top of her game, enjoying the moment with son Landon. We'll step aside, come back to Tampa at the Simone Jardim Florida Grand Slam. We're back in a moment. Simone Jardim, the face of women's pickleball. You got to ask yourself, she wins tournament after tournament. How good can she be? Well, she is perhaps at her best with Lucy Kovalova by her side.
Yeah, and one thing that really stands out to me is them as a team is that they know the role that each of them has to play. And if you watch them, they are in sync at all times. One of the things that we saw last week, and we're seeing it again this week, even though Lucy Kovalova missed that two-handed backhand, that is her role. She slides over a little bit to the right, gives up the middle to Simone's forehand, and she sits on that two-handed backhand.
You've got someone in Lucy who can finish like that, and Simone's so good at setting her up. It's a killer combination.
I think of all the events too, whether it's mixed doubles, whether it's singles, I think the most entertaining to watch is women's doubles pro, I believe.
That's a fact right there, Drew Felios. That is a fact. The women bring it every single time they step on the court. Also, you rarely see the women cramping up. I don't know what it is with that, but I've rarely seen the women's pro doubles bracket with cramping it being a factor.
There's a winner from Jardim again. Again, we are camped out just on the campus of HCC, the HCC Tennis Center, right off of Dale Mabry here in the heart of Tampa. And Derek Stewart, Tampa Pickleball Ambassador, is with us. Derek, for folks around here that want to get involved in the game, what are good pickleball hubs as Kovalova scores again that you can check out here in the area?
That's great. A good buddy of mine, Tyson Middleton, works here at HCC and helped convert some youth tennis courts into pickleball. This is a great place to come, pretty centrally located, and come in. And some of our better players around come here. North of here, the road that runs right by Raymond James Stadium is Dale Mabry. There's 8 great courts up there in North Lakes, and Pinellas County's got courts all over the place. You can just jump in, find some people, and this is a very welcoming sport.
Into the net that time from Kovalova. How about next to the Hillsborough River there? Those beautiful spots around Armature Works in downtown Tampa. We got to get something working down there, Stu.
Yeah, we couldn't really go there because that's where the Super Bowl experience was being held. That's Julian B. Lane Park. They've got 2 beautiful courts there. An old historical place right near Ybor City, spelled with a Y for those of you who are not from Tampa. It's Kuskoden. They have some great courts out there too.
Scott, I've got to ask you here as you watch Smith play, and that ball is in. How can Smith and Parenteau get back into this match? They look like they're trying right here.
Well, definitely. Sometimes you need a spark to get you going. Sometimes you get into a little bit of a lull or feeling like you're not going to be able to get over that hump, and right there, that play might just get them going. It's down to a 2-point lead now, so let's see if they can do anything with this. You have to remember, too, that Callie Smith comes from Utah, where there's not any humidity. She's up in the mountains, the higher elevation. She's going to take a little longer to get adjusted to this, where this is the home of Simone Jardim here on the west coast of Florida. So she plays in this heat and humidity day in and day out, so she's well adjusted to that.
Side out coming up now for Jardim and Kovalova. Kovalova, her boyfriend Matt Wright, victorious in our last men's doubles match. Continuous coverage here all day on Facebook, on YouTube, on ESPN3, 40 countries around the world taking in great pickleball.
What a great way to switch it up on that point, huh? You've been dinking it, you're going cross court there, and then rip one like that. Unreal.
Well, I think what happened there, too, is that Callie Smith came over to the middle thinking there was going to be an around the post by Simone, and Simone fooled them going back over the net instead of around the post.
Oh, wow.
That's great defense right now. Catherine sliding out, getting that ball. Oh my goodness, Simone put that ball right away. She said, I'm done with this point right here. Wow, that is a tennis slide right there on hard court. Drew, if you, myself, or Mr. Stewart tried that right there, we would roll our ankles in half.
That's why I'm not trying it anytime soon, as Simone goes just wide that time. 6-2 still Jardim and Kovalova. Great to have you with us, Drew Felios, Derek Stewart, Scott Golden with us as we're watching a great doubles match. Jardim and Kovalova taking on Smith and Parenteau. It's been all Jardim and Kovalova so far. You got to wonder, is this the point in the match where the tide starts to turn just a little bit?
You know, they're only down 4 right now, I guess 5 now. They're down a game. They've got to find a way to dig deep here. This game's not over yet. They just have to unlock some success in some of these points and feel like they can win this game too.
And Kovalova tried to go wide, and I think she shot it just a few inches wide of that white line.
Actually, I think she landed that one, Drew. She actually got lucky on that ball right there.
She did, in fact.
Let's watch that replay.
The way she reacted, I thought she had pushed it just a little bit, but she did, in fact, score it.
Yeah, I think she realized she was a little lucky on that one, closing her eyes and hitting that for a winner.
Jardim pressing, and Parenteau shooting the winner.
So what Catherine did there is she recognized that Simone was off balance and that Lucy Kovalova was not going to be able to recover to defend that. Great execution by Catherine to get them the ball back.
2-8-1.
Callie Smith serving, trailing by 6. Smith and Parenteau trying to claw their way back. Tough to do it against this pair.
Look at that defense, the reset by Catherine there.
Oh.
That might be one of the best points that we've seen here all weekend.
Into the net that time from Callie Smith.
One thing I'm noticing, a little trend I'm seeing from Callie Smith right now, she's staying about a foot or two off the non-volley zone, and that was the reason I believe she missed that last ball. She was a little far back.
Got to ask you, Derek, singles, doubles, what do you enjoy playing most?
I really like the doubles game. I like getting in with a with a partner, because sometimes you get picked up by your partner, sometimes you pick up your partner, and it's a lot of fun. I've always played team sports, and I think that's why I enjoy it. But if you want to work out, you really want to get after it, go ahead and play singles for a little bit. You're going to be running all over the place. It is an unbelievable workout. Plus, I think my game's better at the at doubles anyway, and you always like to do what you're better at, right? Some guys that really control those lines and can get back and forth from point A to point B real quick really excel at the singles game.
Guys, one thing I'm noticing here in Game 1 and Game 2 is it's been uphill sledding for Catherine Parenteau and Callie Smith to score points and put points up on the board.
Big time.
In part because they're playing world #1 women's pro duo, Lucy Kovalova and Simone Jardim.
There's Simone again.
It's tough to go in with a game plan and then all of a sudden the other team's just putting balls in spaces where you're playing defense all the time. It's hard to transition into do what you want to do when you're answering all the attacks.
For sure. And
oh, into the head that time with Parenteau. Kovalova gives the apology.
yeah, she absolutely didn't mean to hit that ball into the upper torso of Catherine. A good timeout, I think, after you kind of have a point like that, you sometimes need 60 seconds to take a hydration break.
So a hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health here on the second stop of the PPA Tour.
Dang, thirsty.
Welcome back to the HCC Tennis Center. It's definitely not raining here, but wherever the shade is, that is the popular place to be here this weekend.
We, in Southwest Florida, I had to get used to this umbrella look. I would see people when it's sunshine, and I'm like, why are there so many umbrellas open in Florida? But it is that hot sun in Southwest Florida that they're avoiding.
And it's match point for Jardim and Kovalova in the near court. Top duo in women's play. Smith and Parenteau trying to extend here. And just a little bit long. That is going to do it. Jardim and Kovalova for viewers from Tampa that are wondering about Simone Jardim. She is the Tom Brady of women's pickleball, championship after championship, and no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Let's watch this last point, guys, as they finish off Catherine Parenteau and Callie Smith, 11-1, 11-2. A unique lob from Lucy Kovalova. You don't see that very often from her at this stage, so well played.
And pretty impressive to watch up close. We'll be right back as our coverage continues from the HCC Tennis Center here on the PPA Tour.
One thing I'd really noticed before I came on to Gearbox, other paddles change over time. They start to slowly deteriorate, and at about that 3 or 4 month mark, just kind of felt dead. And then I would switch to a new paddle, and it was kind of too fast, because then it had to degrade to get into that sweet spot again. I've been using the GX5 for just about a year now. Same paddle that I picked up the first time I hit it. Haven't switched paddles, and it feels exactly the same a year later, and that's huge.
Getting ready for men's pro doubles here at the HCC Tennis Center in the heart of Tampa. We're thrilled you're here, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Roku, ESPN3, doesn't matter. We're happy you're here. Drew Felios, Derek Stewart, Scott Golden. How about that women's match? Jardim and Kovalova, they were special.
Oh gosh, Drew, complete domination. Last week we saw a 7-0 run, back to the 7-0 tie. I mean, this was not that same matchup. It was complete control from Simone Jardim and Lucy Kovalova.
And right now those two are in the winner's circle with our Hannah Johns.
Thanks, Drew. I'm here with Lucy Kovalova and Simone Jardim. Ladies, those are formidable opponents you just played, but you took care of them easily. How did you do it?
Well, you saw how we did it.
Give me some detail.
Okay, well, I think we started strong. We were feeling it. We were in a good mood. And I was just like, okay, let's have fun. And I think it translated into our game.
Simone, we saw you shaking out your legs throughout the match. How are you feeling body-wise?
I mean, I know people hate it. It's humid, it's hot, but for my muscles, it's the best thing ever. But just let me tell you, the secret to our partnership is that on the first match, you'll hit your partner right in the eye, okay? On the first point of your first match of the day, then you get her pissed as heck, and then you saw what just happened. That's the secret.
I wouldn't recommend that as a strategy to anybody. No.
It was awful. We had to take a 15-minute injury timeout because Lucy seriously could not open her right eye. It was pretty awful. And anyways, she's a champ because she just like literally wiped her makeup off. The eye was like, she was playing in one eye, and now we're here. So.
And that was today?
It was today. But makeup is back on, so I'm feeling it now.
You're looking good.
Oh, she was like crying, like literally crying. I was, do you have any idea how I felt? I was like, really? So pretty much I was like, Lucy, this is my responsibility. You sit on the corner and I play because I just almost like took your eye out. But honestly, in all honesty, it's pretty dangerous. Like people don't think about it, but it is kind of dangerous. And I think like for me, I know people like, oh, you guys gotta start wearing eyewear, but I get awful migraines with sunglasses or any glasses, so sometimes I wear my lower, but the way that I hit it wasn't this way, just so people understand. I hit it from the side. It was the side of my paddle that hit, and then it hit my eye. So I mean, it's still awful and it's pretty dangerous, but thank goodness she's fine. So.
And Lucy, you don't prefer to wear glasses during the matches either?
No, I don't see. My depth perception with glasses, or even with sunglasses, is just really bad. So I wouldn't be able to judge how far the ball is and when it's like already close to me.
One last question for you, ladies. Simone, this is your tournament. It's named after you. It was founded by you. Can you talk about what this event means to you?
This is the third year, and partnership with PPA has been huge because our tournament has grown every year. Last year, we had, I think, half of the participants that we have now, and we were running on 8 courts. So Chad, does an awesome job running the desk. He always done it, and I think now, you're gonna see us be done so early because he puts matches on. There's no stopping. We'll be out of here pretty soon, I'm telling you. So I think organizational-wise, it's running smoothly. And again, we have so many courts. In the past, we've worked with 8 courts, so this is like paradise for us. So, and honestly, like having no issues, knock on wood, with weather. It's been hot, but hot doesn't stop matches. So yeah, so just very lucky.
Thanks, ladies. We're going to see you later for the gold medal match. Drew?
All right, Hannah, thank you so much. And we'll have much more to come. Continue our coverage from HCC here when we come back.